The chapter starts with the protagonist throwing himself into an abyss, blaming himself for the horrible life he had. He says that they treated him like garbage, and this is how his life ended. Then we see a man fighting against a giant rat, also a magician making an enchantment, and our protagonist is behind. The magician casts the spell and destroys the rat, and it turns out that in our feet is the garbage collector of his group, and they make fun of him because they are high class and Ein low class, to which Ein apologizes. Ein in his mind says that he works as Appraiser, which is the lowest class. When they are born, the goddess of light assigns them a job, and that of darkness gives them skills. That by training them you can improve a lot of skills, but the jobs are inherited and cannot be changed. The jobs are divided into 3 categories. The highest, only a few can be of rare class. The second class, that includes people like Zoid and Jolene, and the lowest that are peasants and appraisers who do not serve to fight. When the children inherit the jobs, they are condemned to do the jobs of their parents, but they lost their parents at an early age, losing the business. That's why they chose to be an adventurer who dreamed of getting rich, and used their ability to evaluate and saw that the rat is of rank F, the lowest, but its teeth are of rank D. But he does not have enough strength to get it out and asks for help. His companions do not deny saying that they did not touch a filthy rat, and for that he is collecting garbage, referring to EI, and they throw stones at him and he looks at him angry. But the partner stops and kicks him. The girl says they risk their lives to protect him, and he does nothing at all. Ian laments and thinks that the world is not fair. Ian continues trying to get the tooth out while his companions continue to make fun of him. Ian pulls out the tooth, and in his mind he gives the reason to his companions, saying that it is true that he only serves to rummage through the trash. The partner tells him that the only reason I let him join his group is because he doesn't want to dirty his magic bag, and they leave, and he can't stand it, the desire, but he says that is what he has to do to survive in this world. All because of his work. On the way they meet a hellhound and order Ein to check it to take the useful to what Ein. He says it's weird because there shouldn't be those in that dungeon, but they force him, and he extracts bones, and the partner sees another hellhound. Ein tells them that they cannot go, that something strange is happening, and his colleagues ignore him and tell him that if he leaves, he will not be able to take anything by seeing himself and forced to do what his partner says, Zoid. Then they find many hellhound corpses, but a note that there is something in the background and Zoid look, and it is full of hellhounds fighting over food. The boys don't know what to do, but Zoid tells Jolena to use a paralyzing spell in Ein so they escape. Ein asks for help, but nobody listens, and the hellhounds start eating it. Ein manages to free himself from the paralysis and attacks them. Ein tries to escape, but his former companions block the exit. Ein looks for a way out and only finds a bottomless pit. Ein plans to return, but the hellhounds are out. Ein thinks about whether he prefers to be eaten alive or jump into the void. Ein thinks that all this is because he was born as an appraiser. He became an adventurer to survive. But in the end, Zoid and Jolena made fun of him, while he lowered his head and left him lying, all because he is weak and born as an appraiser, and thinks if it really is all like that, and he says that maybe he only put limits on himself, but it's too late, because he is weak and he throws himself into the void. He wonders why he was born and if it would make sense to have continued living. In the end, he could not do anything, or get anything. His life could not be worse. They treated him like garbage, and he ended up as one. When he fell, he is in a kind of paradise, and a girl appears and he walks towards him and kisses him on the forehead, and Ein wakes up. He wonders if he is dreaming, and he wonders who that person was, and he finishes waking up and sees that he is alive and without wounds, and he takes one of the drops that fall from the tree and evaluates it, surprising that the drops are class S, and heal, and evaluates the tree that is the tree of the world of class S. Ein says that a long time ago in his world there was a tree of the world, and to produce the magic they use, they breathed mana from the atmosphere, and his body transforms it. The mana came from the tree of the world. It is said that the tree of the world withered centuries ago, and that it did not exist, and that the manna appeared from other trees in the world supposedly. But when researchers sent people to find them, there were not one on the entire planet. Ain thanks the tree for saving him, and Ayin listens to a voice but sees no one. Ain, after thinking about what Hara, decides to try to get out of the dungeon, and thanks and says goodbye to the tree. The girl who saved him appears but says nothing. Ain says that nothing he has seen was on the exploration map of the guild, and he is astonished to think about what happened to him, and he arms himself with courage to go out taking a stone, saying that this time he will not set any limits and fight with what is necessary. He walks and does not find any monster lowering his guard. They just cut off his ear and then his fingers. Ain evaluates the monster that is a gremlin, a Class S demon that quickly cuts Ain everywhere Ain sets out to Espacap, but the gremlin is about to impale it, but something stops and destroys the surprised gremlin. Ain evaluates it, and was a bear of the death of rank S that cuts Ain's face and destroys his entire body. But a child appears and destroys the bear with a spell and says, verbatim, asking me to save you already. Seemed too much to me. But last but not least, you are a human. Do not misunderstand me, brat. And ask who he is. But he is unconscious. Then Ain wakes up in the tree of the world and faces the girl. Ain is surprised and thinks that she is beautiful. She looks like an elf, taken from a fairy tale, thus ending Chapter 1.